Gianna Bryant. Most of our school knew her as Gigi.
We remember Gianna today as a student and a friend who brightened each day with laughter, an unbelievable smile, quick wit, and a compassion for others.
We've got some 5th, 6th, and 7th grade girls who are going to sing a song for you that we're dedicating to our G. They've played with Gianna in basketball and are connected with her, and I just felt moved to call them to sing this song. If you know the words, sing along.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you were here, but you're not, 'cause the dreams bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Toast to the ones here today. Toast to the ones that we lost on the way, 'cause the dreams bring back all the memories, and the memories bring back you.
Gianna recounted Natalia's successes as if they were her own. She was immeasurably proud of her father. Her love and her gratitude for her mother was fierce. She eagerly anticipated the births of her younger sisters, and she took pride in announcing their names to our family. Gianna celebrated the arrival of my son and Mrs. Carter's daughter as if they were her own family, perfectly and wholeheartedly. She spoke with us as if she were a new mother herself. Gianna knew how to do family right. The ways in which we can count Gianna's goodness are endless. She was diligent, she was kind, she was unselfish, she was unfailingly respectful, she had an easy grace, and she loved with an open and unreserved heart. She was funny, she was sexy, and she was reliable. She was a great athlete, teammate, and friend. Above all, though, our family.
I intend to keep Gianna with us in our own special way through all that we do. I want to speak to her character. My name is Gianna Webb. I'm an upper school music teacher. I direct the musical, I direct the hand-on choir, and I taught Gianna since she was in the 5th grade. I want to speak to her character, mostly. This is a person who never slung mud. I've slung mud. I know a lot of you have slung some mud. I've never heard Gianna sling mud. Talking bad about others, I never heard her do that. She was always above that. She always rised above that. She didn't engage in these kind of trivial conversations that were not positive. She stayed positive. That's something I'll always remember about her. Gianna has been affiliated and close to major contributors of the world. But she never came to school and bragged about anything. She was one of the most humble people I've ever known. And that says a lot about her character. She didn't need to brag, she just needed to be a light where she stood. And she was my advisee, she was in my advisory where there's 8 of us, well, 8 kids. And her presence is greatly missed because she elevated our group. She elevated the 8th grade class. She makes us better. She made us better and she makes us better. I think that with the mark she's left on me and all of us, we should all strive to be better and do better. She was one of the busiest people I think I've ever taught. She had quite a schedule, but she never asked for special exceptions. She never asked for special treatment, anything. She was going to be there. She was the first to arrive to rehearsal, the first to arrive to advisory, one of the first to music class, and left as though she had nothing else going on, when I know she did. That was Gianna. So when we think about, the things that make us so unique and so special and why we can't do this and why we can't do that, I want you to think about the kind of example she left us. She never did that. She was my director's assistant. It's a position in the musical where you're basically a mini version of me. You get to tell people what to do. You get to take a list. You get to take a role. You get to do this, that, and the other. She was strong, and she was a great leader, but she never was a leader that didn't lead by example. In our first few rehearsals, we were able to learn a dance to the opening number of Footloose, and for some reason that day, not for some reason, for the reason I think definitely me and Mr. Mackey and our choreographer, Ms. Talene, know, we couldn't keep our eyes off of her. And if you know the 8th grade class, we have a lot of strong dancers, but we couldn't keep our eyes off of her because she was dancing with all of her heart and all of her soul. And she happens to be a great dancer, so I know she's still dancing. And that's an example that we'll always have. And so as I asked the 8th grade, how do we move forward with Footloose? How do we do this? What do we do? We're putting her at the helm, as she was when she was here. She's leading us, because that's what she does. She leads.
It was many years ago, 5 or 6, and Gianna was in probably 2nd grade. My family and I took a walk to Pacific Way for breakfast on some random Sunday, and we ran into the Bryant family. Natalia, Gianna, and Mrs. Bryant. While my wife and Mrs. Bryant talked about my really bad ordering skills with my little kids, Natalia and I exchanged jokes about her zany basketball coach at the time, Mr. Mauser, and Gianna played with the girls on the ground. I'll never forget a little giggle escaping Cece's lips. It made Natalia and me divert our attention to figure out what was happening. Cece was about 2 at the time, and she had made it clear to her mom and me that she would only wear this yellow Princess Belle dress. That dress was actually given to us by Mrs. Mauser and Penny. She loved that dress, and down on her knees right in front of Cece and Callie was Gianna. Gigi was asking Cece about the dress and why it was her favorite. She softly poked at the front of Cece's tummy, which made Cece laugh. And Gigi kept repeating her inarticulate toddler talk, Cece's inarticulate toddler talk, saying this was her favorite dress and how pretty she looked. And Gianna said that she also thought Princess Belle was a pretty awesome princess. In 8th grade literature class this week, I shared this story with my students. And my students on Monday shared their stories with me. And it became a really beautiful way for us to remember all the wonder and joy that Gianna Bryant brought to our lives. Then on Tuesday, I came up with an idea. In this life, only your story matters. So we compiled a beautiful collection of stories, 44 stories, about just Gianna. Because to Harbor Day, she was more than Mambacita or heir to a basketball birthright. She was more than a sister and a daughter. We took these stories and put them into a book that honors the Harbor Day part of her legacy. This book also honors her father, Kobe Bryant, the retired basketball player, invested father, and author. And in his post-basketball life, he had begun spearheading book explorations. We have 4 of these in our library. His biggest, the Wizenard series, is a collection of perspectives about a tryout for a middle school team. Rain, Twig, Cash, Peño, and Lab each tell the story of what happens over a 2-week tryout. And each story could have stood on its own. But there is a collective power, a broad power and understanding. 44 stories is one. The 8th grade class mirrored Mr. Bryant's vision with a book of their own that they entitled The Mambacita Stories. In this book, you find 44 unique experiences, and with each experience, you learn more about our version of our dear Gianna Bryant.
I also want to share that in handles, there's a fun little cute story that I want to share. And Nurse Perez, please forgive me for sharing. We had a handbell performance, and there are 12 handbell players, as you know. And if one of us is missing, we ain't got no show, because that person has bells to play. And Gianna had a lot of bells because she had great rhythm. And she had a fever. She was looking a little bit hazy earlier that day, and then I heard she had gone to the nurse and that she wouldn't be able to make the performance. We had an off-campus performance. And as I was hearing this story, I was told that when she was told she had to go home because her fever was too high, she would probably infect others and she needs to go lay down, she just walked away. Like, oh no, no, no. This is what I'm thinking, she was thinking in her mind. Oh no, 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 no. I'm not letting my team down. I'm not gonna let my handball choir down. I need to be there for them. Needless to say, she had to go home and we fell completely apart. It was the worst handball performance of my life. And you guys know that. But that's how strong she was. Anyway, I could talk all day about our beautiful Gianna who lives on. I just want to share one thing. The 8th grade class, when we take our role, as we used to do when G was here with us, we call her name. And when we call her name, I hear 40 plus kids say here in honor of her because she is always with us. Let's be better because of her. She was our example. Let's be better on the playground. Be better to your neighbors, to your friends, to your moms, to your dads. Because she set a beautiful example. I want to introduce the next person who is dear to me, has been since I started working at Harbor Day, and I know he's dear to G and the family. Mr. Chatham Arkin, who is our Dean of Students. Thank you.
At the end of 7th grade, when she said she would run for student council, I was so excited. I couldn't wait to hear and see what she was going to do and how she was going to elevate our student population. We gave her one assignment, and she ran with it as quickly, as eagerly as anybody I've ever seen. Gianna Bryant was an amazing leader in our student council. We will always remember her will to make things better and to strive for excellence. Today, Peyton Bovan, Daniel Kahn will speak on her behalf and our behalf as a student council.
Hi, I'm Peyton, and this is Daniel. We are some of the 8th grade student council representatives. This year, we had the privilege to have Gianna be a part of our student council. She had big dreams and visions of bringing the school together, uniting upper school students with lower school students, and uniting boys with girls. She had ideas of having upper school students bring treats to lower schools during advisory to spread the holiday cheer. She was working with PE directors to provide more sports activities during recess that would involve both boys and girls. She worked with many of our faculty members to get things done.
She always showed up with a smile and motivated us to do more. She pushed us to take action. She took projects into her own hands and was a team player like every leader should be. She displayed her leadership by not talking over people, but taking everyone's ideas and making them real. She truly gave everything she could give. She brought unique ideas we never would have thought of without her. She led by example. When she saw someone or something being mistreated, she would go out of her way to be the first to treat it better. One thing incredibly impressive about her was how she would never wait for change. She was the change. She would inspire change in teachers and friends.
She wasn't just a leader among our student body, but also in sports. She and I were both team captains together in the past, and she would always make every player feel like they were a key aspect of the team, despite their athletic ability. Gianna wanted our school to become a tight-knit family, and I believe we've done just that. I believe she would have changed the world. 4 years ago, when I started student council, I couldn't imagine our 8th grade year being this successful, but thanks to Gianna, we've gotten so many things done. She has been a leader in our school, and we are so proud to honor her today. She truly changed our community forever, and her legacy will never be forgotten. Thank you.